Hi everyone. I'm gonna turn in. Well, actually I'm very tired. I woke up really early today, so just around 6 something, just to go to work at the university for an early morning lesson. But anyway, it's just something that I wanted to just make as a video. It is in continuation of what I actually said on one community post, but I know that not everyone has access to the community post because on some like computers and laptops, they're kind of restricted. This is the thing with YouTube, and yeah, and so I wanted to actually make this video about this idea. This is one thing that particularly, I would say that it causes, I won't say it's like really alarming, but it does create a lot of problems when we hear that in a community of people who have been who have experienced any form of narcissistic abuse, and even whatever, like all this whole idea. I know that there's some basis in all these communities, like via a so-called spiritualist point of view, the claim that people will say, oh, you know what, all this happens for a reason, and therefore it's actually used by God or whatever, or the higher powers uh, up there in heaven or wherever, just to mold us and make us grow as people. But the one thing is this is a very, very wrong-headed way. It's just like there are some things I've been hearing. I see a lot of videos all the time with this idea. Oh, you are the chosen ones, we are the chosen ones. No, 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 no. By this logic, if you are chosen, okay, why then do you have to go through this abuse? It doesn't make sense to me. And you know what's the problem with this whole chosen ones discourse? The thing is this: the chosen ones discourse. Once you say chosen ones, you're also implying that there are people who are not chosen ones. And what does it imply? It implies that there are some people who are more privileged, who are better, and then than other people. And in essence, this is what narcissism is basically: the idea that you are better than everyone else. That's why everyone else has to supply you, and you don't even bother to help anyone, to give to anyone. This is a very, a taker mentality as opposed to a giver mentality. And I said this before, that the givers givers cannot be together with takers, because they will only take from us. Okay, they don't care about giving, because the only thing they care about is actually taking. Okay, and so you know this whole discourse about the chosen ones is a very, it's almost like different from narcissism. It's just another way of repackaging narcissism and making it sound more attractive, and in a way it actually justifies your trauma, saying that what, we need to have this trauma to actually make ourselves better. It's not like that, okay? Because you think about it, it's good if we can actually rise above the trauma to become better people after the trauma, or after the traumatizing incidents and events. But in no way do we even want that trauma, because if we really wanted that trauma, why are we then going to see a psychotherapist, a psychologist, or even psychiatrist, just to go for rehabilitation of all these emotions and all the pain and everything that we go through? It simply isn't the case. And so I don't get it, because to begin with, there's also the problem with this whole chosen ones discourse being not just being narcissistic, but that it is very much like it's like that, the Calvinist or the Reformed tradition that I grew up in, but subsequently left. Because what is it with the Reformed tradition? The whole idea is that God has decided whoever is going to go to hell and who is going to go to heaven. And by this logic, or logic, okay, so basically whatever you do is pointless, because it's all decided by God anyway. If you're going to go to hell, God has already decided you're going to go to hell anyway, so it's a big deal. They can never, Calvinist people, like in the Presbyterian church, they can never explain to me. They can never, and that's why I couldn't take it anymore. And even people can, like the Pentecostals, they go around and say once saved always say no. So I said, if I'm saved, can I slap you? Can I slap you? That's why I told one friend, can I slap you, because I will be saved anyway? I can slap you, am I right? I can hurt you. And she didn't dare say anything. This is just an excuse, okay? The chosen one's discourse is meant to justify certain kinds of wrongdoing, and suggesting that by doing so, you can get off the hook. It's another way of escaping accountability, and it's no different from narcissism. Okay, so it is too close to the Calvinism that I grew up with, and I don't even think that is even biblical at all, or even right. It's not even God. It's not even divine. It's actually Satan. Okay, it's Satan, because it decides who has really going to suffer. Like, for example, if someone gets grape, someone who gets SA, they'll say, oh, God ordained it, he predestined it, and therefore there's a good in it. What good is there in getting grape or getting SA? As someone who has been SA before, by it seems like I cannot in all my mind actually accept this atrocity, this aberrant teaching, and so aberrant discourse is so perverse and so evil. Okay, so anyway, I hope that no one really, I mean, just if you see this kind of videos where they talk about all these kind of things, best thing you can do, unsubscribe, or at least, I mean, the person might not mean something bad. I don't think the content creators necessarily mean something bad unless they are really narcissistic themselves, but most of the time they're just buying into this whole idea, this spiritualist discourse, the idea that what, God has made it for, allow it to happen for good. But do you really think that God actually allows evil to happen just like that? It's not like that. Okay, a lot of evil was created by humans ourselves, and that applies to the whole thing with narcissistic abuse. We clearly were not the victims, but the narcissists were the ones who actually created all this evil, and then we go around saying, oh, it's God is turning it to our good. And what nonsense is this? Okay, and so anyway, that's it for now. I'm just going to go and rest, and I hope everyone has a good remaining bit of the day, and yeah, so have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.